Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Black British Parent Podcast. And today we have again another amazing guest, Kess Sims.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. I love that you've called the full name.
Well, that's how I know you, innit?
That's how you know me. That's how you know you're good people.
I appreciate that. So, please introduce yourself. Let people know a little bit about yourself.
Hey, everybody. I am Marquessa, also known as Kess Sims. I am the founder of Worthy Women's World, and I am an empowerment and transformational coach.
Welcome to Black British Parent Podcast, and thank you so much for accepting our invite. We normally start with a little icebreaker, just a small question. It's a big question, but a small question. Okay. Please tell us your favourite film of all time.
I'm not the one for this question, but what I will say is I love A Girls Trip. I think I could watch that.
Girls Trip? Way!
I know it's not very deep and whatever, but I just love the humour around it, and just I see myself in Tiffany Haddish.
Yeah, that goes wild.
Like, that was me at school. I'll be the one ready to back everybody, you know? So.
I thought it was a great film, actually. I think it's a great film seeing black women being silly, having fun, and just being themselves. Yeah. And I guess in many ways, you know, like black women are seen a certain way, sexually, etc. But to be able to explore those sides of things, I think it was quite interesting and comedic.
And they're all professional women. They all
yes.
they all got their own industries that they was, upholding. However, you also saw the realness as well of trying to, keep up a pretense with your friends, and your friends already know, and that, so I love
friendship is definitely, a great topic to cover in that way. That's a wicked film, so I enjoyed it still.
Yeah.
So, you are the founder of Worthy Women's World, right? Yeah. And so can you share your journey with us? What inspired you to create Worthy Women's World, and what has the journey been like so far?
Oh, okay. So it's been 5 years this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's been 5 years this year. I started it off the back of my own pain, my own journey. I was in a deep, dark depression, and I basically had to find my way out. In a deep space where, not to say your peoples was tired of you, but it was kind of tired of me. You know what I mean? This is what I find. Sometimes we don't know how to get out. So I just started to create little tasks, activities for myself, and just made sure that I maintained a level of commitment to, one day was something as simple as opening the curtain. That's how dark it was for me, I was not moving out of my space that I was in. So it was just creating little steps. And along that journey, I created these pathways, basically, mindset, health, and wealth. And I realized I could only deal with, the first thing I could do was my mind. Mm-hmm. So trying to shift my mind. Yes, I'm laying here. Can't move. I feel like I can't move. I feel so sad. I feel so down. I'm anxious, I don't feel like eating. All of the symptoms that I was going through, and just trying to depict them and figure out how I can shift my mind to believe that, movement can happen. Yeah. You can open the curtain. All you have to do is lift your hand up and draw the curtain, trying to find. But when you're in that space, it does seem a bit impossible, especially if it's been days and days on end.
Especially if you haven't been able to recognize that you have depression as well. So I was going to ask you, like, how can someone acknowledge themselves that they may be going through a depression or about a depression?
Okay, so some people, I would say, are dealing with depression in their everyday life. And they don't know. It just becomes a way of life for them. They're not in a space of happiness, they're not in a space of contentment, but they're in a space of, being complacent with just how things are. And then some people you feel the difference. So for me, I felt the difference. I was this property manager, I was making money, I was, successful in what I was doing, I was learning, I was evolving, and then a few things happened in life and I was in a totally different space. So I knew that's not where I wanted to be. I could feel it. I could feel that I'm not moving. You could, family, friends, I'm not connecting or communicating with them in the way that I used to. I'm not going nowhere. I can just about get myself dressed. It was deep and dark. And yeah, I guess to answer your question is just, you feel it. You feel it. You feel the weight, And what happens when you are in that space sometimes is that things just pile up, one thing on top of another. So for me, like I said, where my finances was great prior to this, my finances literally went from right to left. And I had to deal with it. I knew that was something I had to deal with. But again, like I said, on the pathways, mindset first. I had to deal with my mind first. I had to get myself into a belief system that would allow me to reach back to where I want to be financially. So yes, just the feeling, you feel it. Your heart feels heavy. Your space feels heavy. The space that you're in might feel, gloomy, dark. Also, the music that we're listening to probably contributes to the way we're feeling. We start to connect with negative music. Again, not eating. So what was happening? I wasn't eating properly. I wasn't keeping fit. I wasn't doing anything. And I just had to start from the beginning, like treat myself as a baby and start from the beginning and work with my mindset first. So, yeah.
So you're working on yourself. How did that transition to supporting and assisting other women, other people?
So the pathways, when I realized how successful these pathways was, okay, so I have 101 activities, probably more, of things to shift the mindset. And like I said, it's mindset, health and wealth. So me being successful in shifting my mindset in order to focus on my health, my money wasn't where I wanted it to be, or it was, things was just going down for me because I'm not making money. So I'm living off of my own stacked up resources, which I'm seeing kind of disappear. But before I could even get to my wealth, I had to deal with my health. So I started to, whatever, funds I did have left, I just invested in personal training, just so I can get out early. So my personal trainer is actually somebody that I knew was very strict. So I knew once I pay for this, girl, you ain't even got no money, so
you better use it.
You better make sure this is an investment. You're investing in yourself. So it was also about me getting up and out the house early. So I would do sessions at 6:30 or 7:30 in the morning, depending on the day. And then when I go there was no escaping the workout and stuff like that. And then when I got into wealth now and started building myself back up, I'm like, this thing actually works. And how it transferred from just doing it for myself was having conversations with people. So one of the things that, one of the issues that I had that sort of spiraled out of control for me was I had a miscarriage. And I didn't realize how common it was because nobody talks about it. Even my partner at the time was, don't speak to no one about it, and I'm turning up at his family functions and my belly's still got this shape and nothing's there, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? And I realized how important it was for us women to speak. And years later, whatever else, and like I said, that was just one thing that caused me to be in that dark space, but it was like a ricochet effect, different things happening. And when I did finally get to speaking to my friends, they was upset with me. They was like, we didn't know that you was going through that. We didn't know that you experienced that. How could, you didn't say nothing. We didn't know that I thought you was acting a bit weird, but I didn't, they just didn't know, because I guess within our community, we don't really talk our business. You don't talk your business out on road. So I guess it's just a natural thing for us. So yeah, when I realized, hold on, there's a void here. We're not sharing with each other. And how many other women are depressed? Like I said, remember, depression, it could be something that's obvious, or it could be something that is not so obvious, and people are just going about their day. I realized that we need to have conversations. We need a feminine space. We need to have conversations. We need to understand
other people's
each other,
stories.
Share stories. And one of the activities that I do in our sessions is to allow women to be a coach or to be a counselor or whatever it is, because we're all coaches and counselors for anything external, or if I'm giving you advice, I could easily give you, advice, Debs, how about trying this, or may I suggest that, or whatever. But when it comes to me and my own issues, you kind of can't find the route to a solution. Do you know what I mean? Because it's internal. So it's nice for us to vocalize our feelings and also be able to get that positive feedback and encouragement from other women that may or may not have similar experiences.
I hear that.
And if it's not your experience directly, there's probably somebody that you know that has experienced, like I said, I didn't know miscarriages were so common. I went to YouTube for comfort with my miscarriage. I didn't have no counseling. I didn't even know it. I felt so ashamed. I felt like there was, issues with me. It was my fault. So many different ways and reasons I found to blame myself. But yeah, I was grateful because I had my, the support of my mum or my nan or whatever. But it still was a bit taboo. It was still kind of like, I didn't realise.
Our elders kind of just got on with it if those things happened. They didn't really discuss it or share the experience. And I'm thinking, why didn't then the professionals offer professional support? Do you see what I'm saying? Because if medically, the medical professionals are aware of what happened, then by rights they should, I would assume, maybe hopefully they do that now, but they would have, be able to refer you to people that you could speak to.
Yeah. I know, but I didn't get anything like
that. Yeah.
I didn't. And how many other things is it that women experience
that they don't get
support for or don't have just like, we have so much hugs in our sessions. There's so much hugs.
That's beautiful.
Because it's like, sometimes we just need a hug.
Yeah, and a genuine real one as well. Not them.
A genuine, yes, exactly. Not just, all right, you're strong. Do you know how much times I've heard I'm strong?
Yeah.
Stop telling me I'm strong.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think we okay, cool, we are strong, but we don't have a choice.
Yeah. As well, while we're strong, we're also vulnerable, just like anyone else.
Yeah.
So.
Of course. But people put that strength on us.
Yeah.
And then we feel like we have to live up to it.
Yeah. And if you don't, then we don't know where that takes us and how that feels afterwards and where we are with those people that put it on us.
Yeah.
It's a vicious cycle, guys. At ladies, sisters, yeah.
Ladies and men, because I think the work that I do, as much as I say, I do get some men that are like, what about the men? There's a lot of men that get it as well. Mm-hmm. And there's men that say to me, I wish my mum had this when I was growing up.
Yes.
Like, I wish my mum had a safe space to just go and really, like, women come back, whether it's a retreat or, a evening session, whatever it is, we fuel you up.
Yeah.
You're good to go, It's like filling your car drives differently when you've just put a quarter full of petrol or half a tank full of petrol versus when you fill it up to the brim. Do you know what I mean? And that's what we love to do.
But what I think is, sorry to cut you, what I think is interesting is the men coming to you saying, I wish my mum had this.
Yeah.
It's part of some of the work why we're doing what we're doing with Black British Rent. Like, it's the same thing of, wish my mum had access to these things. And I know many other people said similar. So, and to think that, there might be, again, I know you've always said that men always ask where's, Worthy Men's group and all that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, working with women impacts the men in some way directly.
Oh, 100%.
Do you know what I mean?
100%. Some men even, there's a few ladies that said, oh, my partner showed me this, your advertisement or whatever it was. And I thought, that's such a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And then I feel like the men that kind of talk negative of this thing, it just reflects where they're at. And just goes to show. And some of them, it is just like, we want this too. Some of it is like, we need this too. And there is plans to expand that way, but I just need to find somebody a male that can facilitate that, because I don't think it would be
right for a woman to be doing that.
I don't, there's things that only men can relate to,
I think it's a weird one, because whilst I agree with that 100%, men need their spaces led and run by men and managed by men. However, sometimes I feel like maybe some men feel more comfortable speaking to a woman because they don't get heard by women. So to have a woman to be able to hear them, not saying that that's what you should be doing, but I can imagine some men perhaps feeling more comfortable speaking to women about those kinds of things. Women, not women.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do agree with that to a certain extent, whereas there is a level of nurturing that we do provide. So if we are running any sessions for men, obviously we'll still have the same structure that we have for the women. But I just think in terms of connecting and relating,
of course, I agree. Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? It's like that argument where they say, can a woman raise a boy to be a man? There's many women that have raised boys to be men, but I guess it's different with and without, you know, the input of a man. You know, it does make a difference.
I find those conversations really challenging. I think no child should be raised without both men and both women. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's I feel like a boy child needs a man and a woman's perspective, and a girl child needs a man and a woman's perspective. Their mother and their father. So it's always very isolated. Do you know what I mean? The conversation in some ways.
And there's a lot of single parents, a lot of single mothers and single fathers. But I think, you know, from my experience, it's more common to have single mothers.
It's true.
You know, and men can just say, that we're obviously
But then
I don't want nothing to do with that child. What can you say?
But equally, you know, as much as that is a case in a more blatant situation with, I guess, separation, there's households where both parents are in the house and it's still mostly the woman doing all the raising, all the nurturing. Do you get what I'm saying? So it really does depend on the situation, I think. Yeah,
because what's come to me as well, what keeps on popping up is single mothers that are married. So that's an actual thing. And you will have married women that come and might, you know, have the same kind of stresses or need to release themselves, the same as a woman that doesn't have a man there as well. Do you know what I mean? So again, it's still relating as women.
Yeah, it's true. Very much so.
Do you know what I mean? So but yeah, and also I just, again, with that whole parenting thing, you've got some parents that will, you know, go in, and you've got some parents that might drop out. But regardless of what, I think as a woman, the weight is always, you know, the weight on the shoulders of a woman is heavy. Because remember, we have to deal with the whole 4 different stages of our cycle, which we're just getting to get our head around. We're just starting to get our head around it, as well as, like you said, whether it's working, cooking, cleaning, whatever, you know, as well as everything else. I think a lot of women tend to be the nurses, the teachers, even if their children go to school, the educators, the everything, the psychologists, everything for their family. So there's a lot of weight on the women there's a lot of expectation on women to handle these things too. Just naturally as well.
Without any support, training. It's just an assumption.
That's why I do love when I see, you know, families or marriages where it is like, you know, a compromise with each other, balance. Not necessarily compromise, no one should compromise, but compromising with each other to be like, okay, cool. If somebody does the dishes, somebody else is cooking, or however people find the balance within their own spaces. I think it's a beautiful thing.
100%. So what does empowering women mean to you, and how does Worthy Women's World create a space for women to feel empowered?
Ooh. Okay, so there's a thing with me in general, Kess. I've always yearned wanting to receive me from other people. And I feel like I've just created that space for it to happen. And I tell women that Worthy Women's World is not just about Kess. It's the energy that sits in that room. That feminine energy is a magical feeling to experience. And I mean, the last retreat that we held, the only word that was coming up was indescribable. Because if you haven't experienced it before, you don't know what it feels like. You are just in that space of go. Work, life, you know, home life.
Survival.
Strong woman. You know, we allow women that space to be vulnerable, to be weak. You know, we build walls. I love it when we get in our sister circles, because that's a wall that we're building of strength that is flowing throughout. It's not just, Debbie, you need to be strong. It's like, we're strong with each other. We're holding each other's backs. You know, if anybody falls, we've got you. You've got 2 hands on either side. You know, that's the feeling that you get.
That's beautiful.
And that's what I love.
And it's true, because I've experienced it being in those environments too. In your environment, it's been beautiful.
So, and I'm so passionate about it, because, you know, I've got a 4-year-old, and she is, you know, she gets it. I love it when sometimes I might get a bit frustrated or I get a bit flustered, and she'd be like, Mummy, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. So I'm pouring every sense of empowerment onto her, but it's nice to be able to give it to such a young girl that will grow with that, because we didn't get that. We didn't get that. So when we're getting stressed and flustered, we don't think, oh, let me just breathe.
Yeah.
Which is the most powerful thing you can do in any stressful situation, is to breathe. Give yourself some thinking space. Give yourself some time to, have a bit of clarity on whatever it is that's
kind of
frustrating
separate
you.
you from yourself from the situation just a little bit, so
Just
you
a
can
bit, just a bit. Give
observe
yourself
it
some
from
grace.
a different space. Yeah, that too. All the grace. Yeah, man.
So, I hope I've answered that question.
I think you have. Yeah. So what are some of the biggest challenges you face as a leader and advocate for women's empowerment, and how have you overcome them?
Okay, one of the biggest challenges is, that's a good question. One, I would say probably the funds. Like I said, it's my passion that is driving this. What I found is there are women that might be in a dark space, but might not have the funds to afford the service.
That's always a tricky thing, yeah.
But I want them to have the service because I want them to come through the transformation journey. And then also sometimes we get women that don't think they need this. And I've come across a few that think, no, I've got everything on lock. I'm covered. I'm good. And they come in the space.
And they realize, hang on a minute.
They're like, oh my days, I'm still.
Yeah.
What is this stillness?
Yeah.
What's this vulnerability? Like, why do I feel like this? Because they never stop. They're always on the go.
Next thing.
And they don't actually allow themselves any time for self-reflection or whatever. They just go. So I would say the biggest challenge is being able to reach all the women that actually need this, or, reaching the women that need this, the ones that know they need it and the ones that don't know they need it. And how I've overcome it, I would say, is I've just recently set up a CIC.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So the goal with that is to obtain funding to be able to support those women, whether it be via concession or free session. Well, we have got some free sessions coming up actually, but I'll tell you about that a little later. But it's to be able to provide these sessions so it's available,
affordable,
and affordable. So
well done.
That's one of the solutions.
I love that. I asked you for your challenge and you gave me a challenge and a solution with it. I love it.
Oh, we all about solutions out here.
So your platform emphasizes on mental health and emotional health.
Yeah.
How do you encourage women to prioritize their well-being in today's fast-paced world?
I would say, and I say it all the time, the same way how you put in your diary, oh, I've got a meeting with Kess on this day. Oh, I've got a meeting with Joe Blogs. Oh, I have to be here at this time. Oh, I've got to take the kids here at this time. The same way you schedule everything else in your diary, schedule in some alone time. Oh, this is time for me to read. I'm reading for half an hour, or I'm going to treat myself to a massage, even if it's booked a month or two in advance. Or have your monthly massages, because that's something we need anyway. It's not a luxury. It should be a necessity to us, to be able to have relaxation time, to have, just to allow yourself some grace, or reflection time, some time to journal. If it's not something that you're scheduling in, every couple of weeks at least, even if it's 5 minutes a day, you can journal. You can meditate. You can even listen to audio. Oh my days. Debbie, I don't even listen to the same music I listen to again like that. When I do listen to any kind of commercial, anything that I've grown up on or anything like that, one, it's either the positive songs, or two, I do it for fun.
Yeah.
Just to reminisce or catch a vibe. But apart from that, I'm listening to affirmative music. I'm listening to, it could be instrumental music. Sometimes I listen to jazz instrumentals.
It's quite a good set of lo-fi ones on YouTube for free as well. There's some good ones.
Yeah, exactly. So all of that,
Yeah.
I don't know if I answered your question.
Don't worry about it. You are. Because I think it can be so challenging, like in this time, we're just like you said, we're always on the go, and there's no moments to relax. And again, music is something that we perhaps don't realize can have such an impact on us as well. That's a big topical conversation. So to be more selective what we're consuming. And what we're consuming in our downtime is super important. So that is definitely a good option, a good choice.
And people believe they don't have the time.
Yes.
But you do. You've
All
got
the
the
time.
time. You've got the time. Like I said, even if it is that you're just listening to something positive.
I don't know, it just sounds like a bit of pressure, but it's like, how bad do you want peace? Do you get what I'm saying? So like, what are you willing to give up? What are you willing to sacrifice for your peace and your well-being? I say that, and I need to be saying that to myself sometimes. But anyway, let's move on.
That's humanity, isn't it? Like,
sharing information that we are aware of. It's about sharing information. So faith seems to play a big role in your work, right? How has your spirituality shaped your vision for Worthy Women's World and your mission in general? They're coming in deep.
Yeah, girl. I love it though. I love it because my faith is. Oh, girl, are we going there?
Yeah, we're going there. Go there. Come on.
My faith is believing that, I am a part of source energy. I am source energy, so your source energy. I believe that everybody has the powers that come with being source energy. Nothing is external. It's all within. It took me a while to learn that. I'm still learning. But yeah, being able to, things like I said, journaling and writing things down and setting intentions, manifesting, that's where I go spiritually. And I know there's various religions out there that people choose to follow and align with. But in my opinion, I believe that there's only one source energy. There's only one God. Do you know what I mean? There's only one universe. There's this magical energy that flows through us, which is the highest energy that there is. So I grew up in the household I grew up was for a while was practicing Islam. But then prior to that, I also grew up with Christian beliefs and in church, Sunday school. So at some point I was actually
kind of mixed up between the two.
Between the two, between, mum's side and dad's side.
Hey family, we hope you're enjoying the show. If you want to stay up to date with all things Black British Parent, we've got the perfect way for you to do just that. Join our mailing list and be the first to know about new episodes, exciting news, and upcoming events. It's super easy to sign up. Just head over to our website and into your email. Don't miss out on the latest from Black British Parent. Join our community today. Now, back to the show.
So my mum said something to me when I was younger, and that was, whatever you do in life, just do it with good intentions. Just be good and be kind. And I feel like that is like a number one rule of a lot of
everything, really. Yeah.
of life.
Yeah.
So I feel like spirituality, I feel like we connect some people connect via religions, and some people, it is just a feeling within. Some people have to go to places of worship to worship. They feel most powerful in that space. And under that book. Whereas myself, I feel like it is internal. And there are a lot of resources. There's scriptures that I read from the Bible, and there's things that I would have learned, like I said, when I was practicing Islam. So
Quran,
to me, I've never seen this right or that wrong. It's just about how you connect with the ultimate source.
And there's a lot of similarities between religions as well and ways of practice. So I guess it depends on what corner of the planet you're from will then decipher how you practice.
And what's been installed in you growing up.
Yeah.
I could have been a Muslim right now, or I could have been a Christian.
And it makes no difference either way, because you're still doing the work.
Yeah.
That
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing that. I was saying the right thing, but my eyes jumped to the next one. That's how tired I am. Yeah, I did. The concept of worthiness is central to your platform. How do you define worthiness, and why do you think so many women struggle to see themselves as worthy?
Oof. Okay, cool. So the moment we're born, we all have value to our lives. Whatever the journey is that we've taken along life has contributed to our belief system. And sometimes a lot of it is not even true. Do you know what I mean? We are magnificent beings. We've all come here to experience life. And some of us have grown up with limitations, and our mind is limited. And as I said before, it's mindset, health, and wealth. And if your mind is limited, it's going to have an effect on everything else in your life.
Yeah.
So it's very important for me to assist people finding their worth, because I can give, there's many ways I could do it, but I guarantee you, if I sit in a room with you, I'm going to find your worth. We're going to do this.
And that is true. Very true.
We're going to do this because we're all individuals and we all got values. But sometimes I think, we grew up in school, everything is a competition with your grades, whether it's sports day, whether it's what you're wearing, your hair type, your skin type, whatever it is, there's always something, so we grow up in this state of comparison. So if you're comparing yourself to somebody else, especially if it's in a negative way, you're then placing more value on somebody else as opposed to seeking the value within yourself. And that is based around a lot of work that we do, is allowing people to, all right, cool, we all have flaws. There's no one perfect. But are you going to focus on your flaws, or are you going to focus on your blessings?
Yeah.
It's very important for people. That's the main core. And once you know your worth as well, you start to move with that energy. We transform and we achieve.
Yeah, comparison is a major tool used to take away our worthiness or chip away at it. And there's a lot of conditioning around that competitive sort of streak. Sometimes it can be in a household as well, by children being compared to each other, or do you know what I mean? It's quite.
But again, something would condition that. It's like something would. Big up Lynn Scott. She's amazing. I can't even call her my therapist because she's my spiritual mother. She's my fairy godmother, everything. But she taught me this, and I saw this with her and her children, and it's something that I, made sure I've installed with my children as well. It's like, yes, that's my son, that's my daughter, but that's your brother and that's your sister. Yeah, so you guys have your own relationship.
Yep.
And your relationship is, firm within itself. As much as our individual relationship and our relationship as a whole and our bonding as a whole. But, and I feel like sometimes in life, you've seen it where your parents favor one child over another. You might have narcissistic parents that, unfortunately, you'll have a scapegoat, you'll have, the flying monkeys, you'll have the golden child, and all of these children that are growing up feel differently. Their experiences differently. Yeah. They've been treated differently. And a lot of the time, because the golden child is treated so well, they can't even see the way that their siblings, they can't even relate to it.
So what strategies have you found most effective for building a supportive and engaged community of women through your platform?
Our community grows. So I feel like there's a lot of people that look on the outside and don't really understand what it's about, because when I share content, it's probably, it's going to have some background music, or I might give a description of what it is, but you don't really get the essence of it until you're in the room, or until, if it's a webinar, until you're in that space. I would say that the community grows when the women reaches the space. Once they're in the space, it's like, I'm there, I'm sold. Okay, cool, I know this space exists. So I would say, in terms of building, it's just a continuous job. And I just believe everything is just in alignment, and everything happens at its right time.
I expect as well, women that have probably been hurt by other women are so grateful for being in a space like yours. And they might at first not even be too sure, because like a room full of women, black women at that, like, especially if they had certain experiences, but then coming to your space and seeing everyone being so welcoming and so at ease and peace with themselves, despite whatever their challenges that they're dealing with.
Yeah.
They've come to that space with an intention, and that just spreads through with everyone else that comes. I certainly felt it the first time I came to one of your events.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a sisterhood, isn't it? And everybody.
We can be quite judgmental and critical. We can be our own harsh critics. Do you get what I'm saying? But yeah, sorry, go on.
I just feel like the environment it just doesn't allow for any judgment.
Yeah.
It just doesn't allow. It's not allowed, but it's just naturally, because if I put something out there and it attracts, a certain number of women, and they all every session, I will say this, every session is the right people that are there. So if I put something out and it attracts a certain amount of women that come to this space, they're all attractive off of the same piece of information. It spoke to them all in their own unique language, in their own way, but whatever was on there is what is drawn them. So the alignment happens naturally, authentically, because we're all here for the same reason.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We do have some women that, like I say, sometimes they might feel like I don't need to be here, or they might feel like, I'm just checking it out or whatever. And you do step into a space of being vulnerable in this space, but it is a safe space.
Yeah.
You feel you feel safe when you're there, but also you feel like, oh, I can be vulnerable. Oh, I don't need to wear a mask. I don't need to pretend. I don't need to lie. I don't need to be fake. I can just literally be me.
Yeah.
What is this like? Especially if it's somebody that's, somebody that works full time and is, in the office all day with different, work colleagues. Some they get along with, some they don't. Some they have to, watch their back for, and so, all these different work.
And there's no obligation as well. There's encouragement more than obligation. I find.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. But also, it's this work that could be even with family members.
Yeah.
You've got to act a certain way because a specific family member might think this, or because they've said that, or they've put this impression on you. So, whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's just a safe space to be. And what I love is the self-discovery. It's like, oh, I am amazing. I've done that. And wow, I came through that. And I went through that. And I'm still here standing.
Yes.
I didn't realize. It's like an awakening that happens each and every time. And like I said, there's some women that are more reluctant at the beginning, but by the end, you're not going to be the only woman in the room where everyone's just kind of like being free to be themselves, and you're just like, you're going to feel awkward. So naturally, I mean, like I said, it's just a natural thing.
So saying it's there's no obligation, but there's encouragement.
Yeah.
It's a gentle encouragement in your environments. Yeah.
So, and sometimes it's just the activities that we do, the workshop and whatever, that we've got, depending on the topic and what pathway it's under, etc., can bring out different things for you. So, yeah.
And a lot of self-reflection.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. We're big on self-reflection, because that's how you find your worth.
Of course. Because we don't realize how we're looking at ourselves.
Yep.
And how that impacts whatever we're doing. So when you have a moment in a safe space with the right guidance, then self-reflection is a lot more easier to manage, I think.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to a woman who feels stuck or unworthy and doesn't know where to begin her journey towards self-love and personal growth?
I would say, if somebody's feeling stuck, one of the things that I love doing with women is sort of creating a map, a roadmap. You feel stuck here, this is where you're at, where would you like to be? And then we break down the steps on how to get there. And sometimes the steps is not a physical action. And like I said, it could just start off with the mindset again, that belief system. So I will give activities it could be daily activities, it could be a weekly activity. It depends on the individual. And I would just say, start with the believing in yourself, believing that you can unstuck yourself. Do you know what I mean? Just that, starting with that you're already one step forward.
Yeah.
You're one step closer to where it is that you want to be, and stepping away from that. And also, again, going back to finding your worth. I'm not worth being here. I'm here to live life. I'm not here to be stuck. And also, to answer your question in terms of, I think you said that they can't find their worthiness. We're all here for a reason. We've all got a purpose. We have all got a purpose. And again, that self-reflection, you can sit down and write. I guarantee you there's 10 things that are amazing about you that you can find. If I really get into it with you, I guarantee you will find them. And when you sit down and you reflect and you have that space, that mental space as well, to be able to reflect, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So those are the steps that the first thing I would suggest is figuring out where it is that you want to be. Because some people are stuck, but they don't know where they're going. Do you know what I mean? Of course you're going to be stuck. You've got no sense of direction. You've got no goals or no aims that you're trying to reach.
Or too many goals and too many aims
Or
sometimes.
too many. Yeah, 100%. Or it's just some people have the goals, but they don't have the belief.
Yeah, that too.
I would like to do that, but no. So there's stuckness could come in all different forms. Do you know what I mean?
And when I say there's too many goals, I don't know if there's always too many. Sometimes it's like they need to be put in order and put in place or
On the
put
map.
mapped right, mapped out
On
for
the
real.
map. So I would say just start with figuring out where you need to go and then take the steps. Figure out what the steps are.
Yeah.
And as I say to the women, it doesn't matter. Sometimes I say put one foot in front of the other. Don't try and jump, leap, hop, skip over there. Go down the journey, follow the path, look at the route that you're taking, figure it out, make notes, learn along the way, enjoy the journey. Because sometimes the destination is so stressful just thinking about it and trying to, you know what I mean? We ignore the beauty of the journey along the way. So get excited about getting there. Once you start getting excited and you start feeling it and, those dopamines kick in and you're like,
once you
pumps
figure
up.
out what that journey is, because I think sometimes it can be difficult understanding or knowing what our journey is for us.
Yeah.
Because we see other people do great things and we might assume that thing is for us.
Yeah.
So we might be, up against something that isn't necessarily for us. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's not on your path. It's not a part of your journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It can be a bit uncomfortable, but then you won't know until you've done the work. Some journaling, then you might be able to figure it out.
Yeah, and journaling.
Come to a Worthy Women's Workshop.
Just to note as well that we do, I don't think I did say it before, but we do retreats, women's retreats. We have some Sunday sessions that will be coming up, which will be once a month. And those Sunday sessions will be more of it will be activity based. So it'll be in different locations. We'll have different team building activities and things like that. And then we'll also have the Worthy Wednesdays, which will be back, and we'll be hosting those online. And we will throw in a few of the live Worthy Women's Wednesdays as well. So we have a variety of workshops and sessions, even if it's that you can't make it in the physical, you can make it online. Yeah. So that's how we're trying to make sure that everybody can kind of...
So that was my question, because what's your long-term goals for Worthy Women's World? But you really kind of answered that, and about your up-and-coming projects and initiatives. So who or what inspires you in your work? Are there any personal experiences or role models that have shaped your path?
I mentioned her before, Lynn Scott. She was also part of the therapy, whatever form of therapy suits your needs.
Yes.
Lynn Scott is a life coach. She is also, she's got a lot of credentials. Life coach, she does NLP. She's a hypnotherapist. She does a lot of things, but she is somebody that, when you say inspiration, she inspires me by the way she makes me feel. So she can take me from down and droopy to, oh my days, I'm ready for the world. To be able to have that skill and speak life and, put life into people like that is an amazing thing. And she's always bigging me up and supporting. And, so I have to, in terms of, inspiration, I will always call for Lynn. And she's came and hosted and been a special guest at quite a few. I think
I've been at one of your events where she's been there. Yeah.
She's magical.
Very
and she's
impressed.
she sits very firmly in her feminine energy.
And it's not intimidating either. It's just her presence is just elegantly empowering and powerful.
She's confident. She empowers by leading. So, she will tell the story of, when you get up, you dress up, you feel good, the way how it carries along your day in that same aspect. I remember one time I spoke to her, I was really down and I was saying, I was crying and, whatever. And she said it about 100 times, but today is a good day. Today is a good day. And by the time I came off the phone, I wasn't in the same space, but it was just that reassurance and the reaffirming of positive
And not letting
thoughts.
a perhaps negative situation dull the whole day or moment.
Because I could have went with that energy throughout my day, but it was just like, nope, that energy stops right here with this phone call. So yeah, definitely a big inspiration, not just to me, but to a lot of the worthy women as well.
And I think it's a testament to the power of coaching, because we see, and I've said this many times before, but we see like if someone wants to learn to play football, they have a coach to help them empower themselves. So if you want to be a better person or feel more worthy within yourself, then having a coach of some sort, being able to encourage that in you is always a good thing, right?
Yep, 100%, 100%. And you know, Lynn's my coach. Lynn has a coach. Lynn's coach has a coach.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
just goes to show everyone needs a coach.
Yeah, we all need, and it's the same thing. Like I said with our sessions, I sometimes allow the women to be coaches for each other. Because your friend, your auntie, your cousin, your sister, whoever could come to you with the problems, and you would help them through to find a solution. You would help to uplift them. So we're all coaches in our own right. But it's just that to be able to provide that to yourself is you know, it's a lot more of there's a lot more it's a lot more challenging. A lot more challenging. So yeah, I just want to continue just empowering women and letting women see their worth and their value. I've had a lot of things said to me as a child growing up. You know, I was bullied. There's a lot of things that I've been through with my own journey, and it's just about unlearning the things that were said to me about myself, taking that self-reflection, taking those moments, like I said, my scheduled time where I'm journaling or I'm reading or I'm learning or whatever it is, and figuring out, just me, having that space and figuring out what stuff was true and what stuff is not true. What stuff am I keeping and what stuff?
Let go of.
Because I've had a lot of things that was said to me that wasn't nice, but I've also had a lot of nice things that's said to me. So I'm taking all the niceness and I'm going to expand and evolve on that. So but I'm human. I am human, and I have my days too. And that's what I do want to let women know, because I think I remember a friend saying to me, I didn't know that you, you know, and it's like, I obviously give off this positive energy, which is where I place myself. And I love it. I love floating on it. When I'm walking, I'm stepping on these stepping stones. It's just positivity. That's how I kind of, you know, like to picture myself. But I'm still human. I still have
moments.
I still have moments.
Life be lifing sometimes.
Life be lifing. Yeah. But also, what I will say is the moments, the negative moments do not last as long as they used to, because of the pathways, because of the work that I've done on myself.
You can acknowledge them, thank it, and let it release it.
Sometimes, depending on what the situation is, I will say, right, cool, I'll cry about this for an hour. That's fine. I'll give myself an hour to get over this. Like, I judge how much time I'm going to spend on this situation. If it's something bigger, okay, cool. You know,
give myself half the day, an afternoon or something.
Half the day or until tomorrow or whatever. And sometimes I shut off for a few days just to restore and process.
And if you need to shut off for a week or a month, then so be it. Exactly. But depending on how big the scale is, I hear you.
Yeah, and it's about processing as well. It's allowing yourself to process things. And I think sometimes, a lot of the time, we just suppress, and then it just kind of all spills over. So it's always good to ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me?
Yeah.
How do I feel about this? What can I do about this? Can I do anything about this? No, I can't. Is it worth me spending any more time on it?
Who can I get help? Who can I get to help me with this situation? Yeah.
Exactly. So that's the space that I'm holding for women. And like I said, there is a lot of plans for expansion. When I say expansion, to be able to help more. But I do feel like us women, they say, a happy wife, happy life. And they also say, if the mother in the house is not happy, the whole house can feel that energy. They can feel when mum's happy, the whole house is good. When mum's not happy, you know. So I do believe that the feminine energy is a magical thing.
Of course.
And we just need to learn how to tap in. As women, we need to learn to tap into our femininity.
And don't manipulate that either, because, you know, certain women will just take advantage of the happy wife, happy life thing.
Oh, yeah.
On the real, innit? I'm just disclaimer, you get me? Because, boy, I'm not having no man them come to me and like, no, man.
You know, but it's a saying, it's out there. And I guess.
But it's true, yeah.
Remember, we are our energy and everything about us, it fluctuates throughout the month when we go through the different phases.
And we're
of our
nurturing your
cycle.
baby, so what space we're in impacts your children. So the whole family, everything,
Everybody that was born in this world was born
from a woman.
All right. So,
Yeah, man.
and that's why I feel like that nurturing, you can tell, you know, when the nurturing is there, we can set men off to have a good day. Do you know what I mean? Not saying they can't do it for themselves.
No,
but
and not saying they can't do it for us too.
and not saying they can't do it
right?
because they can.
Yes.
They can, because masculine, feminine, there's no, you know, we need
It's
both.
a balance.
We definitely need both. So let's
Yeah,
just
cut
make that
that.
clear. We definitely need the masculine and the feminine, but also, and that's another thing as well. Like, I found a lot of women are very much tapped into their masculine energy, but that don't have the balance with their feminine energy, which is a whole nother
Conversation.
whole
Maybe
nother
next
conversation.
episode. Next time you come back.
And some of us are forced to. If you're the only woman in the house, you know what I mean? Sometimes you are forced to. But yeah, you know, it's not just in a household like with, you know, mother, father, family, but even if I go to my mum's house and my mum's upset about something, I feel it. I don't even live there.
Yeah.
I'm going home.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's the same in my household. You know, if I'm down about something, my children feel it.
Yeah.
So,
Something to be mindful of.
yeah,
But Marquesa, thank you so much.
it's all right.
Please, for being here. Please tell our listeners about how they can get in touch with you.
Okay, so you can get in touch via all socials at Kess_Sims. I'm on all platforms under that name. And also, the movement is at Worthy Women's World. So either online, we are worthywomensworld.com, on all the socials, just Worthy Women's World.
Thank you so much. And last but not least, please, if you have a message for Black British parents or for our listeners, please.
Oh, gosh. Oh, girl.
Something to leave us with, you know?
All right. What I will say is you guys are doing an amazing job.
Oh, thank you.
I will say thank you so much for holding this space. Thank you for being the Black British parents space for Black British parents for us to learn. I've definitely learned a lot from your platform. I've been informed a lot from your platform. And it is a sort of go-to in regards to anything Black parenting. So thank you for everything that you've done.
Thank you.
Because as I was saying off camera, is that a lot of things that are, there's a lot of different groups and organizations that are doing things, and we all kind of need each other. We all need to hold space for each other. So everything that you're doing is amazing. I'm looking forward to more stuff. And yeah, thank you for having me, and thank you for inviting me and allowing me this space, this opportunity to speak.
Thank you, and thank you for being here. We appreciate that. Guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode. Until next time, please take care. Bye.